J.Lo is being slammed online for her behavior in an interview on the Met Gala steps. J.Lo was a co-chair for the 2024 Met Gala and wore an eye-catching beaded Schiaparelli gown to the charity event. She was seen smiling and posing on the carpet, but not everyone received that megawatt smile. TikToker Annika Reed was present at the Met as an interviewer on the side. She was up close and personal with the stars and got some great shots of the celebs as they ascended the carpet. She was also close enough to ask celebs questions as they were heading up. And it seems not everyone was happy about that. As J.Lo was making her way past Reed shouted, "Who are you wearing tonight?" Pretty standard red carpet question, but J.Lo appeared less than impressed. With only a glance over, J.Lo responds with a quick Schiaparelli before continuing up. When Reed posted the video to her TikTok, the caption suggests she didn't mind J.Lo's response, but the comment section sure did. Many people calling J.Lo out for being rude. One person saying Reed receiving a rude J.Lo interaction was the J.Lo experience. Another person writing, "Ew, why she have that attitude?" In comparison to other celebs who met Reed's questions with big smiles and the occasional full-length interview, J.Lo's reaction does make her appear as the outlier. The Met Gala isn't the first major event where J.Lo was criticized for her actions on the carpet. Glam bots have increased in popularity over the years for good reason. They are the perfect way to showcase a celeb's look and almost always make people look amazing. A glam bot of J.Lo was posted for her birthday in 2022, but the video did not garner the response the poster probably hoped for. In the video, we can see Cole, the person who runs the glam bot, explaining to Jennifer as she walks up what is going to happen with the camera, just how it all works basically. Jennifer appears to be uninterested in what he's saying or distracted. From other people talking about red carpets, we know that they are pretty fast-paced, kind of like go, go, go. So maybe J.Lo really had somewhere to be, or there was a big lineup so she was trying to keep a schedule. We never will know. The ending of the video does not paint her in the best light. As part of her glam bot, the singer's movements involved taking a step to the side, and then that step turned into her walking off. It's not shown if she said goodbye to Cole or anyone else working on the glam bots, but it doesn't appear that way. So naturally, people are pretty upset about it and leaving their thoughts in the comment section. One person writing, "She doesn't look very friendly." Another commenting, "Not her," immediately walking away. Cole did film a glam bot behind the scenes for this particular video where he explained the situation, saying they had very limited time, about 30 seconds, and he wasn't expecting to see J.Lo, so it was an in and out kind of situation. Back in October of 2023, J.Lo was photographed throwing up a rude gesture to paparazzi. The singer was photographed out with her husband Ben Affleck in the morning, and she was not very happy about it. Like many people online said though, can you blame her? She just wanted to head out for a quick breakfast with her husband and was instead hounded by cameras. Expressing her frustration, J.Lo threw up her middle finger at the paparazzi with a tight-lipped half smile. The photo went viral online and the response was half and half. Some people said she was being rude and the behavior was unacceptable. Others were more forgiving towards the star, bringing up that even Hollywood stars deserve privacy and are real people too. It's unclear if J.Lo was prompted to do the action just because of the situation, or if something happened or was said to cause it. Jennifer Lopez attended the Grammys with new husband Ben Affleck in 2023, and the two were caught on camera looking less than pleased with each other. The X account Chicks in the Office posted a video of the couple with the caption, "Someone please check on Ben Affleck." The video posted was about 30 seconds and it features host Trevor Noah sitting beside the couple. Since he was seated directly next to them and talking, the couple either didn't realize the camera was on them or the moment was a very believable bit. In the clip, you can see J.Lo speaking to Affleck in what looks like it could be a stern tone. As the camera gets closer, J.Lo lightly hits Affleck's chest before giving him a displeased look and turning away, looking frustrated. Affleck also is looking a bit disgruntled for the remainder of the video. Once Jennifer does turn around and realize where the camera is, she starts laughing and smiling again. Ben offers a little half smile, but mainly keeps a straight face. Interesting video of J.Lo seemingly flirting has made the rounds on social media. The video is weird, I don't know how else to put it. It's a heavily slowed down shot of J.Lo making a funny face towards someone behind her. The camera pans to someone who looks like a DJ. There are over 25,000 comments on the video and lots of them are saying J.Lo is flirting with the person. One person writing, "So disrespectful, poor Ben." The video was posted in May of last year and people are also up in arms about this video since J.Lo is standing directly beside her future husband husband Ben Affleck. Other angles of the moment show JLo jamming out to the music, even Ben offered a little shuffle, and that's when JLo looked the DJ's way. The clip is from the premiere of JLo's 2023 movie, The Mother. JLo went viral when on-set footage resurfaced of her spitting gum into an assistant's hand. The video was taken about 6 years ago now, and yet it still causes a stir every once in a while. Reposted all across the internet, the 20-second video shows JLo, presumably on the set of a TV or film. I'm guessing that the cameras are about to roll, but JLo is chewing gum, the method of choice chosen to get rid of that gum, and the situation appears to be spitting it directly in someone's hand. After the video went viral, again, people started pointing out that they are on a street and a major movie set. A trash can has to be nearby, or at least a tissue. Some people have commented on the clip when it was posted to a TikTok page, pointing out that JLo has a purse in her hand. Were there no tissues in there? People are just generally upset and mildly disgusted by the action. One person commenting, "I have never been in a situation where I felt the need to spit anything into someone's hand. I would swallow the gum before I would do something so disgusting." Those arguing in favor of JLo have brought up that the behavior is common on film sets, but the biggest player coming to JLo's defense in the situation is actually the assistant in the video. She took to her ex-social media account to set the record straight. She clarified that there was a tissue in her hand, and she requested that JLo spit the gum in her hand. She also said that there were large crowds present and it was winter and they were waiting for a light to change so that they could film, so there were a lot of factors that made this situation one where they had to move quickly. The assistant noted that spitting the gum in her hand was the most efficient solution at the time. Much to the displeasure of the star, the paparazzi can't seem to get enough of JLo. A video of Jennifer interacting with paparazzi was posted to TikTok in November of 2023, and like most of the other ones, she is not happy to be there. At the start of this video, we can hear the pop in question congratulate her and Ben from that, and when this video was posted, I'm assuming the congratulations were about the pair's wedding a few months prior. Though the pop is trying to speak positively, JLo is still quite upset being followed around. As she is getting into her car, we can hear JLo say something along the lines of, "Nobody likes leaving their house and having you guys follow them every single day," finishing off her statement with a final, "Nobody likes that," as she continues getting in her car. The paparazzi filming can be heard saying, "I understand, Jennifer, I get you," as they continue to get closer to the star. Other footage released of the encounter shows an annoyed-looking JLo and Ben. The spotlight was stolen by a couple's argument at the premiere of JLo's 2023 movie, The Mother. JLo and her future husband Ben Affleck were photographed and filmed on the red carpet, and they did not seem overjoyed to be there. The pair appeared to be arguing with each other on the carpet. It's unclear what about. It could be something serious or something simple, like where they're going to stand next. They were pointing somewhere in the distance, so maybe they were debating whether or not to go inside. Regardless, the two look like they are exchanging heated words in front of the camera. The clip ends with Affleck moving off screen, likely giving JLo her moment with the cameras, as it was her movie after all. This clip is from the same premiere that the flirting clip was from. Paparazzi caught JLo after she was locked out of her gym, and the star was not happy about it, directing the F-bomb their way before she left in her car. In a clip posted to Daily Mail's TikTok, the Jenny from the Block singer can be seen running to her upscale gym's front door in bright neon yellow workout clothes. Only when she gets there, she is left waiting outside, the door is locked, and no one is coming to answer. I mean, this would be frustrating for anyone, but the star also has all the cameras watching her to deal with. Naturally, she grows aggravated and gives up the wait, getting back into her car. The pops get a bit closer to the star as she's trying to enter the car. You can hear the star tell them to go away. JLo leaves the pops with an "F you, bye." The video ends before we can see her car drive off. A clip from JLo's new documentary of the singer talking about award-winning dancer and choreographer Derek Huff went viral online because it appears that JLo is trying to move his wedding plans around to accommodate her movie. That sounds really bad, but that is absolutely what it looks like from the short clip. JLo is seen talking with people on her team. It looks like she is looking for someone to either choreograph or be in the movie, and she wants a good dancer. Professional dancer and Dancing with the Stars performer Val is brought up as a choice, but JLo isn't feeling it. She very clearly wants Derek. She says, "I mean, I know Val is available, but I want you to call Derek." She then goes on to say that she only needs him for 1 or 2 days. But as a member of her team quickly points out, he was busy because he was in a wedding. It was revealed by Derek at the premiere that it wasn't just any wedding, it was his wedding. Well, he revealed he received a call from JLo in the middle of planning his wedding, so people connected the dots from there. In the clip that went viral, JLo is unyielding and insists that Derek be called anyway. After the movie came out, Derek joined E! News for an interview where he clarified that JLo did not make him change his schedule, she flipped her schedule around for him. He also went on to say that JLo provided guidance and help while he was planning his wedding.
Once a couple 20 years ago, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are now back together, and fans are. Ben is reportedly angry with Jennifer currently after her new movie about their love life was recently released. Insiders told The Heat that Affleck was reportedly scared that JLo's new film, This Is Me Now, would ruin his career, and apparently that fear has not dissipated. There is a very real risk that this film will not get the reaction she is expecting. Ben's been complaining to friends this could end up being Gigli 2.0. They said it will be especially embarrassing for him considering the career that he has built up and how seriously he takes his projects. He is scared he's made a big mistake getting involved. This is the second project they've worked on together, and since Gigli was so panned by critics, receiving a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes and losing over $60 million at the box office, it seems as though Affleck has been worried about the same treatment, and it allegedly caused problems in their marriage. Ben Affleck also recently admitted the romance forced him to make major compromises. Jennifer was really inspired by this experience, which is how artists do their work, Affleck said. They get inspired by their personal life. It moves you. I know as a writer and director, I certainly do the same things, but things that are private, I always felt are sacred and special, in part because they are private. So this was something of an adjustment for me. At a screening earlier this week for the documentary, Lopez said that her husband was a, quote, reluctant participant in the whole thing. According to People, she told the audience during a Q&A session, "The other scary part was that I was bringing into it my husband, who was kind of the reluctant participant and a silent participant and all." Affleck still admits his hesitancy with having the spotlight on their relationship. It's the first time that she's done something as an artistic form of expression that was purely for the sake of what she had to express. It was about bringing out the things she felt inside that she just wanted to say, Affleck said. "And I don't really love being in the making of a documentary about my personal life, which is why I'm so relieved that it's not really, and it seems like I might be in this, but not really. I was worrying for no reason. The movie wasn't about me, it was about the ability to love yourself, and that love story is a lot effing harder to find than Prince Charming." Celebrity matchmaker Alessandra Conti notes that there's been a shift in how the public engages with famous couples. Navigating the complexities of fame and having a very public relationship was challenging back in the early 2000s, but now it has reached a different level. Every couple who is remotely in the public eye experiences an intense level of scrutiny, especially with the dawn of social media, she told Fox News. However, JLo and Ben have kept a relatively low profile when it comes to social media, and although they're supporting each other at professional events, they have kept the intimate details of their relationship private. This is a smart strategy, and as long as their privacy is maintained, it is a sustainable situation for him and JLo. Ben also needs to understand that whoever he dates, he will be scrutinized in the public eye. This is one of the trade-offs of fame, she says. In the documentary, the couple admitted they, quote, just crumbled under the pressure of being a tabloid phenomenon, and it put a strain on their relationship, leading them to call off their 2003 wedding 3 days before it was supposed to happen. I had a very firm sense of boundaries initially around the press. Well, Jen, I don't think objected to it the way I did. I very much did object to it, Affleck said. Getting back together, I said, listen, one of the things I don't want is a relationship on social media. And then I realized it's not a fair thing to ask. It's sort of like you're gonna marry a boat captain, you want to like the water. We're just two people with kind of different approaches trying to learn to compromise. JLo is no stranger to headlines and tabloid drama though. Let's go down memory lane and rehash some of JLo's most shocking controversies. In 2020, Shakira and JLo co-headlined the Super Bowl halftime show, and she was accused of throwing some serious shade at Shakira. Lopez was seen getting into a heated debate with an NFL producer about her idea to have caged child performers on stage, a reference to the living conditions that youngsters face at border detention centers. She said, "I'm trying to give you something with substance, not just us out there shaking our effing butts in effing belly dancing. I want something real. I want something that's gonna make a statement, that's gonna say that we belong here and we have something to offer." The use of the term belly dancing, something which Shakira is very famous for, left many believing that she was dismissing her co-star's contributions. Jennifer Lopez was also accused of being insensitive to her husband's addiction issues in 2023 when she launched her own brand of alcoholic cocktails. The Let's Get Loud singer put her famous name to Dalola, a range of drinks created with mixologist Lynette Marrero. But having only just walked down the aisle with Ben Affleck, a recovering alcoholic, this latest business venture left a sour taste for some fans. There's also a rumor that J-Lo didn't used to sing on her old records. Rumors had been circulating for years that Jennifer Lopez had more than a little vocal help on hits such as Play, Ain't It Funny, and I'm Real. And in 2014, fellow R&B star Ashanti appeared to confirm that these tracks were essentially uncredited duets. Jenny from the Block is another Lopez banger whose chorus you may struggle to hear the lead artist on. In 2019, Natasha Ramos said J-Lo did indeed go in the studio and lay down background vocals over my voice. So I wouldn't say that she's so much lip syncing. However, the backgrounds are predominantly me, some ad-libs and laughs as well. Luckily, Ramos doesn't hold a grudge against the Hollywood star, but does against her label for failing to give her proper credit. Last year on TikTok, there was a viral trend going around, fans exposing J-Lo horror stories, and some of these are shocking. One woman described the experience of helping J-Lo at Foot Locker. She said Lopez, quote, cussed me out because the store didn't have the correct size for the shoes she wanted to buy her twins. But that was nothing compared to the story another woman had after Lopez came to stay in a house where she used to work as a maid. She described how a nail artist was called in to give Lopez a pedicure in bed, which the nail tech had to do upside down because Lopez, who was laying on her stomach, refused to roll over onto her back. And if you're thinking of making eye contact with J-Lo, never do it. A TikToker who says that her father worked as a driver for a car company, often used by J-Lo, said that even a driver glancing in the rear view mirror sparked Lopez to berate him for invading her privacy. Unsurprisingly, her father eventually refused to drive Jennifer ever again. J-Lo's new Amazon Prime movies aren't getting the best hype, as some say it is the worst movie ever made. One reviewer made a list called The Reasons Why This Sucked. I had no idea what was going on in the movie, she says. There was no theme, actually. There were too many themes. There were so many talented artists in the movie who were used more as props. They should have had a bigger role. She goes on to say, this movie seems like an ode to herself for nailing down a man, Ben Affleck. It's not really about love. This is a movie about conquering a man. She's basically telling everybody that the other relationships that her and Ben had were just filler until they could be together again. Her kids and Ben kids are going to be watching this. Do they really need to know how much she loves sleeping with their dad? We all know it's not her voice singing those songs, and then she continues by saying, and if it is, auto-tune should get a lot of the credit. She is narcissistic, over the top, and way too in love with herself. For people clicking more than 2 stars, did you actually watch it, or are you just clicking on 5 stars because you love this ego maniac? Yikes. Alright, back to Ben and Jennifer. More inside details of their private life were released in her accompanying documentary that was just released this past week. Early in the documentary, Lopez reveals that she showed her musical collaborators a collection of letters that Affleck gave to her as a gift. This book is a book that Ben gave me on our first Christmas back together. It's every letter and email that we wrote to each other from 20 years ago and today, she says. The cover of the thick binder says, handwritten, The Greatest Love Story Never Told by Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, 2001 to 2022 and counting. Jennifer explains, it became like our Bible and we just left it there in the studio. Ben Affleck, however, was surprised their correspondences were made public. I was like, you've been showing all the musicians all these letters? And they were like, yeah, we call you Pen Affleck, he recalls in the documentary. documentary, I did really find the beauty and the poetry and the irony in the fact that it's the greatest love story never told, and if you're making a record about it, that seems kinda like you're telling it. He adds later that he had to adjust to the change. But things that are private, I've always felt are sacred and special because they're private. So this was something of an adjustment for me.
So for starters, J-Lo is pressuring him to do things. Now, sure, to a lot of folks it might be clear that J-Lo and Ben Affleck are blended family goals with their ex-spouses. They ensure their 5 children feel close and safe with everyone in their large family, and it seems like they're kind of antsy about welcoming another member into the family. Yeah, reportedly, they want another child together. Now, while J-Lo has repeated the sentiment for quite some time, soon after she and Ben got back together, insiders claimed that she's got baby fever, and she's talking about it non-stop. A source recently told Life and Style via Yahoo that she's been trying to convince Ben to welcome another baby via surrogacy, and recently she finally got him to cave in. Apparently, according to our source, she nagged him until he went along with it. Ben was completely happy with the blended family they already have, but he loves kids. That's why he agreed to having another. At the end of the day, he wants Jennifer to be happy. Ooh, that doesn't sound like a healthy situation. A baby isn't just an accessory, it's a commitment, and definitely not something you should be nagged into doing. Also, he wants a more low-key life. Like, all in all, Ben Affleck tends to be a more low-key person compared to J-Lo, minus them both working in the public eye. So, J-Lo recently launched her new album, This Is Me, Now, with a self-financed $20 million multimedia campaign. Then she made the experimental film, This Is Me Now, a love story. We get it. This was about the rekindling of her romance with Ben. And then there was the Amazon Prime documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, about, yep, the making of the record and the film. So when Ben pops up in the documentary, it's often to express concern that his private love story is becoming used for something he didn't particularly want. So this entire thing is actually named after a scrapbook that he gifted Jennifer for Christmas in 2021, stacked with every letter and email they'd written to each other over the last 20 years, which is something that should probably be private. Jennifer showed the book to her producers and songwriters on the first day of making her new album without asking or telling Ben. She's like, it kind of became like our Bible. We just left it there in the studio. Which, this revelation comes out within the first 5 minutes of the documentary, and right out the gate, Ben isn't shy about his discomfort. He's absolutely shocked that Jennifer would share something so personal with her collaborators, and now of course with the world. I get it, art comes from making something personal, but when you're making someone intentionally uncomfortable with your art and kind of violating consent, that's not a good move. Now yes, if you look back at the history, J-Lo's relationships have always been in the spotlight. She's been in more than several high-profile relationships that have made headlines all over the world, so Ben should have known what he was getting back into. For example, from 2004 to 2011, she was married to Mark Anthony. They had twins, and then in 2017, she made headlines again when she was dating former New York Yankee Alex Rodriguez. Now, rumors spread that she was only going to consider marrying him if he agreed to the, crazy list of demands. Reportedly, he wasn't allowed to talk to any woman under the age of 40, which is super controlling. Gross. Also, J-Lo loved his physique and wanted to guarantee that he wouldn't let himself go once they got married. Now, sure, none of these rumors have been confirmed, but it's just a little extreme. Now, yes, we know Jen and A-Rod didn't work out because she's now married to Ben, but I'm wondering, what did he have to agree to make her happy? We already know she nagged him into possible surrogacy. What else? J-Lo at the end of the day has a reputation of being a bit of a diva. Okay, a big diva. Whereas I don't think I've ever heard about Ben making crazy demands for press tours or similar situations. Once upon a time, J-Lo had somebody fired for being a fan. So there was this maid who happened to be cleaning her room in Germany during her 2012 World Tour. And as a big fan of J-Lo, she tried to ask the star for an autograph, only to have not one, but 2 of J-Lo's assistants stop her. And soon after, she was out of a job, and she knew why. Literally a day later, the cleaning company that employed her at the hotel called and said that J-Lo complained, and she was fired over the phone because of asking for an autograph. Now, look, I get it, it's not the most professional thing in the world, but don't get somebody fired over it. Now, on the flip side, J-Lo herself denied the claims with one single tweet, saying, "Come on, thought you knew me better than this. Would never get anyone fired over an autograph. First I heard about this was on Twitter." Okay, sure, there's plenty of speculation there, but let's try something else. An old interview from J-Lo herself resurfaced recently, and she wasn't speaking too well about her fellow colleagues in the industry. So this is what she had to say about 2 major stars at the time. Gwyneth Paltrow, she was like, "Tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work." She also had stuff to say about Madonna. Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, "Oh, I can do that. I can act." And I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft. The funny thing is that this is what Jennifer said after only having like Selena and Anaconda under her belt for her career. So that's kind of embarrassing, and I'm glad people are calling her out for this behavior. Now, if we want to talk more about like close circle stuff, according to several of JLo's former staff members, she earned herself the nickname Paylo because she paid her staff around 50% less than they can make elsewhere. Now, this rumor's been going on for years. Let's go way back to like 2003. So, yes, you guessed it, back when she was first with Ben Affleck. They were spotted in Vegas together. They had a big win, and Ben decided to drop a $2,000 tip to the dealer. But before he could, tip the generous reward, JLo snatched up the cash and swapped it for $200. So, does JLo have a reason for paying her staff so little? She's like, I had to work hard to earn my money. So should everybody else. Yeah, that's embarrassing for her. If she had to work hard to earn her money, shouldn't she try to make it easier for others since she knows how hard it is? She just seems so entitled, and that's just gross. Don't worry, we got more. Let's go back 1 year from that. 2002. She's starring in the romantic comedy Maid in Manhattan. She's traveling all over the world promoting this romantic comedy. It's amazing, it's great, it's wonderful. And when she landed in London, she had people talking non-stop about her demands. But promoting the movie, she had a very interesting encounter with hotel staff. So she stayed at the Metropolitan Hotel, and that's where we started seeing the signs of her being a major diva. The hotel staff was kind of astounded by her lavish and extravagant demands because it reached new levels for them. Apparently, she requested that the hotel staff had to provide her with thousands of pounds of lemon-scented candles. Also, like, she needed limousines to escort her only like 200 yards away because couldn't do anything, had to travel in style, can't walk on the sidewalk. Let's go back more to, well, sort of present day. In 2012, reports surfaced that Jenny from the block demanded staff working for her, don't make eye contact with me, don't talk to me. While having work done on her San Fernando Valley home, she demanded that none of the helpers, drivers, or contractors have any interactions with her. Yes, I know, these rumors were never confirmed, but still. And reportedly when flying first class, yeah, don't bother her. Not even if you're a flight attendant. One time, a flight attendant offered her a drink, because that's her job, and she refused to acknowledge him. She said to her assistant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime. Once again, I know, these rumors have not been confirmed, but like, when the evidence is piling up, you really gotta think about it. Seems like she doesn't appreciate the help she gets. So, on-again, off-again relationships have a bit of a bad track record. Yes, I know, the Ben Affleck reunion was the big headline of 2021, and now, yes, they're a happily settled married couple. It only took them 20 years and 2 engagements to get there. For talking history speaking, their first round began in 2002. That's when they started a rom-com together. It was cute. Ben proposed, but then they broke things off in 2004. Since then, they went on, they married other people, they had kids, they got divorced, and then they dated other people again, and then, well, you know, a month after she ended things with A-Rod, welcome back. I think this is May of 2021. They got married in summer 2022, and while this is cute and all, once again, on-again and off-again relationships have a bad track record. What's to stop this couple from calling it off again? Especially when you look at everything else we've talked about today. And finally, look, I know, I've already mentioned the documentary today, the This Is Me Now, the love story, but some fans who watched it afterwards had to take to social media to call out Jen for her lies. Yeah, now we're not saying the love story is fake. That's true. But in one scene, JLo poses in the mirror of her personal gym as she shakes out her hair and reminisces about her childhood in the Bronx. She said, I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block, crazy little girl who used to be effing wild and no limits, all dreams. However, TikTok user Photos by Angela slammed the star in a series of videos as she claimed to have gone to the same Catholic high school as JLo and accused her of lying about her experience living in the Bronx. She said, we both attended an all-girls high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood, so you weren't running up and down the block. And this isn't the only lie. JLo has long been accused of not actually singing on her albums, and singer Natasha Ramos actually took to TikTok to shed light on the rumor. Now Natasha, who has a voice very similar to JLo's, was hired to sing the demo of Jenny from the Block, and the production team liked her voice so much that they asked her to record 5 more songs for the album. This Is Me Then? Yeah, what do you know? Natasha received $3,500 and a backup singer's credit. But as she claimed, and as the original demo demonstrates, it is her voice that appears in the final track. And not only in the choruses, it's also her laugh and her yelling, from the Bronx! Lopez only sings in the verse. So when you add up all these lies, I can see why Ben might be having some second thoughts.
Number 10. Sharing the stage. JLo didn't hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage with Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. In her newly released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. Quote, if it was going to be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes. That's what they should have effing done. Basically, it turns out that Jennifer was frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners performers and making them share the same amount of time that any solo performer would receive, as opposed to doubling it and giving the women extra time to shine. As a result, fans slammed the artist for coming off as entitled. While it's true that they only gave the performers 6 minutes each, the action-packed show garnered immense praise from fans across the globe, with many fans commending the women for showcasing their Latin heritage so brilliantly. What JLo was really mad about though is that previous solo headliners like Beyonce and The Weeknd received 14 minutes to perform, but judging by her complaints, it's clear that she feels offended that they asked her to share the stage at all. Number 9. Cheating allegations. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have had an on-again, off-again romance that has been going on since the 2000s, with fans even nicknaming the couple Benifer. I mean, these two just got married this year, after they first got engaged nearly 2 decades ago, but the timeline of their relationship is a huge red flag, and it included alleged cheating. So in July of 2002, Lopez filed for divorce from her second husband, Chris Judd, citing irreconcilable differences. But this news broke just months after Lopez had wrapped the movie Glee alongside her then boyfriend Ben. Even though she vehemently denied cheating rumors, Ben took out an ad in The Hollywood Reporter gushing about Lopez before her divorce wasn't yet finalized. In fact, even Chris Judd's father, Larry, spoke out against the couple and accused JLo of being unfaithful to his son. He insinuated that the affair started during the filming of Glee. Quote, "I thought Mr. Affleck would honor a married woman and not just go right into the trailer," and added that she'd be happier if she'd just tell the truth and no one in her little circle is going to say one negative thing to her. But we'll never really know the truth of what happened. Number 8. Music theft. The star has been accused of stealing and borrowing background tracks and vocals from other artists for years. One of the stars who accused her of doing this was Usher in 2005. He claimed that she stole a song that he cast aside while recording his hugely successful album called Confessions. Usher claimed that JLo's single Get Right is actually a re-recorded version of Ride, a song that he co-wrote the year before, which was only available online. He said, quote, "I hate it, but I'd better get some of the publishing rights or else. I didn't put it on my album because I couldn't get it right, but I didn't expect JLo to just take it." And apart from being accused of stealing the same sample song that Mariah Carey used for Loverboy, JLo was also given songs that were initially intended for Ashanti, which is why a lot of people claim what happened between the two artists was straight up music theft. In September of 2001, Lopez released I'm Real from her second studio album, JLo, that she worked on with Irv Gotti. But the song was already recorded and mixed with Ashanti's vocals, which is why you can still hear her background vocals in Lopez's version. Number 7. Makeup artist feud. Scott Barnes, who worked for JLo for the past 20 years, has had to deal with so much of the star's crazy hot and cold behavior. In the mid-2000s, the star essentially banished her longtime makeup artist, Scott Barnes, after rumors surfaced that someone had leaked info to the press about her and Mark Anthony's secret marriage ceremony. Speaking on the Jeff Probst show in 2012, when asked about how JLo treated him, he said, quote, "It was like I had the plague." But interestingly enough, eventually she ended up giving Barnes his old job back again after learning the truth, but apparently failed to apologize for being so cold and ruthless towards him. I mean, she literally cut him off without a word and blamed him for the leak without even confronting him. Barnes went on to say, quote, "I went right back to work with her and we just never spoke about it again," which is even weirder. The funny thing is, her celebrity makeup artist would go on to work with her for another 6 years and insisted that they remain on good terms despite the fact that she ghosted him and didn't even apologize for it. Number 6. The Mark Anthony romance. Celebrity gossip magazines could not get enough of the power couple in the early 2000s. They were absolutely everywhere and it seemed like fans loved the pairing. But their beginnings as a couple were super questionable to say the least. Anthony married former Miss Universe Dayanara Torres in 2000, while Lopez was dating Ben Affleck roughly around the same time. But the on-again, off-again couple picked their romance back up while Anthony was still married to Dayanara. So less than a week after Anthony's divorce was finalized, the couple surprised fans by getting married in a small, all-casual ceremony in her Beverly Hills home in early June. It really begs the question of whether or not JLo was some kind of homewrecker, because the timeline of the rekindled relationship seems really off. I mean, he actually broke Dayanara's heart, and she said, quote, "You go through hell. I cried until there were no tears left, until I was numb. I didn't want to eat, I didn't care to get dressed or take a shower, I just wanted to lie there." Anthony's feelings for Jennifer might have been there all along because the two had history, but he should have put way more thought into who he chose to marry in the first place. So in a way, they're both at fault here. Number 5. Insensitive comments. To give you some background on why everyone felt that JLo was trashing belly dancing. So a part of the 2020 Super Bowl performance featured young dancers sitting in glowing cages, which many people assume represented the immigrant children in cages at the US border. But she apparently had a hard time convincing the NFL to do this, and said, quote, "I'm trying to give you something with substance, not just us out there shaking out effing asses and effing belly dancing." She went on to say that she wants something real, something that's gonna make a statement, something that's gonna say we belong here and we have something to offer. Now, if you're confused about why that was so controversial, essentially she compared the art of belly dancing to just shaking your butt for the hell of it. In fact, that particular line was shared across Twitter and people were big mad. It was just a little culturally insensitive to say, considering the fact that the dance has long been associated with Middle Eastern cultures, and it's something that Shakira has become known for, using it to channel her father's Lebanese Syrian Arab roots. Number 4. Avoiding the Bronx. This one, train wreck of an ad campaign, led people to openly mock both Chrysler and Jennifer Lopez. The central premise of the ad was that sometimes JLo will drive through her old hood in the South Bronx in a Fiat 500 just to stay inspired. Although it sounds ridiculous, the marketing campaign obviously tried to draw on the singer's famous Jenny from the Block era. Most people recognize the song in which she pays tribute to growing up in the Bronx, which had been a solid part of her image since the 90s. In fact, the singer even titled her debut album On the 6, which is a clear reference to the New York subway train. A press release at the time even stated that she would be traveling through the streets of Manhattan to the Bronx where she grew up. But the ad backfired when the Smoking Gun reported that Lopez never actually went to the Bronx to film the ad, and that a body double stand-in was used instead, calling it, quote, "such a breathtaking assemblage of urban cliches," and that was putting it lightly. Number 3. The movie line interview. The infamous movie line interview in 1998 that could have almost ruined JLo's career was truly worse than you can imagine. She was 27 at the time and fresh off the success of her film Selena. She basically decided to trash all the other celebrities that were big at the time and tried to trivialize their career and contribution to the industry. In fact, when asked about Madonna, she actually said, quote, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. And I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." It was so ironic because JLo would go on to do both music and acting for the rest of her career, and critics also trashed her acting on the big screen. Also, at the time, Madonna had been a star for a lot longer than JLo, so there was no real comparison there. And when Gwyneth Paltrow was brought up, Jennifer almost seemed to laugh and made it clear that she didn't take her fellow actress's career seriously. Quote, "Tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work." Yikes. Number 2. Accusations of racism. 20 years ago, Lopez was approaching full actualization as an entertainer, but a single from her second album, JLo, almost derailed her career entirely. The Murder Inc. remix of I'm Real, which features Ja Rule and Own Radio in 2001, was ruined by the N-bomb that she drops in her final verse. The issue was that the song was an instant hit, so much so that 10 years later, in 2011, Billboard gave it the 6th spot on its 40 biggest duets of all time list. But rightfully so, people were outraged by her use of the loaded term, not only because she's a Latina artist, but at her level of success, where she has a platform and sets an example to young fans. Using such a derogatory word is at best offensive. But as the accusations of racism started to mount against the star, she eventually spoke out to defend her actions on the Today Show. Quote, "For anyone who thinks or suggests that I'm racist is really absurd and hateful to me. Germany. Although many people think this is not an excuse, it was later revealed that the track was actually written by Ja Rule himself, and apparently he encouraged her to say it. And number 1, fired a maid. This one is really indefensible. Jennifer Lopez allegedly got a German hotel maid fired for asking for an autograph. Frey Dodaj was a staff member at the luxury Melia Hotel in Dusseldorf, Germany during Lopez's stay in 2012. She was a big fan of JLo and worked up the courage to knock on the star's hotel door in Dusseldorf to ask for an autograph and was promptly turned away. Frey claims that she was relieved from her post the day after the incident. She told The Sun, quote, "I am an incredibly big fan, so I took all my courage and rang the doorbell to get an autograph, but I was rejected by 2 assistants at the door. A day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone." If the incident really happened, it's hard to ignore the irony when you remember that Jennifer played a hotel maid in the movie Made in Manhattan. After receiving a rightful amount of backlash, the pop star wrote on Twitter, quote, "Come on, thought you knew me better than this, would never get anyone fired over an autograph. First I heard of this was on Twitter, #hurtful.